It's hard to imagine a time when red dot sights didn't exist. They've been synonymous with all kinds of guns, both real and in fiction, since I've been alive. And today, I'm here in Sweden to see how they are made at the home of the red dot, Aimpoint.
I know a little bit about ammunition, I know a little bit about gun making, but I know nothing about what we're going to see today. We're electricity neutral. Let's rock and roll. Let's go to Aimpoint. There you go. Welcome to Aimpoint's underground testing tunnel. It's people. Yep. Not machines. Yep. See, this is like a showroom. It's like a show home. Every process has been taken out to a fine art. Every piece been put together in the perfect way.
Jammed, yeah, that's it. We're gonna use some help. Both. You are truly a natural.
Learning the science and the actual deeper meaning of red dots, why they exist, how they work, has been absolutely fascinating. So welcome to Sweden, guys. I've had the privilege of visiting some of the world's best firearms factories. Let's take a look. I have never yet been to an optics factory, but today that is gonna change. We're here in Sweden at Aimpoint, the guys who invented the red dot sight. We can have a look around, we'll learn a bit more about the company, and maybe spend a bit of time on the production line, seeing how hard it is to build one of these. Let's go.
Johnny,
Mr. G,
welcome. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. This is a very beautiful place.
We like to think so.
There's a lot of pride happens here.
Yeah, it sure is. And you're in the heart of the Aimpoint headquarters.
So what's the plan for today?
Plan for today is we're going to have you to build an Acro S2, the shotgun sight.
I am excited, nervous. I know a good amount about gun making. I can work a file. I know nothing about optics and electronics.
We'll teach you all about it today.
All about it. Where do we start?
We start back in the factory.
Let's go, shall we?
Come on.
All right.
Starting right at the beginning of the process, Peder took me to parts intake.
All right, so this is the intake of parts.
It is. Everything starts from here. The goods come in. Everything that's going to be put into production passes through this. So this is a control center. We trust a lot of suppliers from Denmark, Austria to supply us with the material, and then we do the assembly here.
It's all European made?
Yeah, it is all European made. We measure almost all of the bits and parts that comes in here. On the red stickers, those products has been checked and were not met to the standard that we have.
Okay.
So they will either be sent back or put here. So all of the ones that are marked with the green sticker, they are ready to go into production.
Okay, so it is that vicious with the quality control, even at intake?
It is. That's bread and butter quality.
All of these parts head into the core of this factory, the assembly room, and are all washed to remove even the tiniest piece of dust and debris. As for us, we needed to prepare ourselves for entering this anti-static clean room.
All right, let's go for it.
This involved a quick lesson in ESD materials and equipment. That's electrostatic dissipative. ESD materials are used to prevent the buildup of static electricity, which can damage electronics and other sensitive devices.
It's a bit prisony, isn't it? Oh, yes.
And then getting dressed into ESD coats, hats,
Right. Put this one on. Oh, wow.
bracelets and shoe covers, and checking that we were ESD compliant on a machine near the door.
Let's not put it that way. Okay. But anyway.
We're electricity neutral.
The room we are now entering is pressure and temperature controlled too, and operates for 2 shifts, 16 hours a day.
The first thing that surprises me about this room is that it's people. Yep, not machines. Yep.
The sites that you currently see here, they're not specifically designed to be fully automated. When you have a lot of variables, the human can do it faster than a machine.
Humans are better than robots for making aimpoints.
In some cases, yeah. In this particular case, for these specific sites, definitely.
Aimpoint's been made by people forever. Right? There was never a point where it wasn't a fully automated process.
No, never.
There are, of course, a few things we couldn't film, but what we can show you is pretty cool. The whole process starts with the cleaning of lenses and the assembly of the front and rear tubes, which is exactly where we're going to begin.
So this is going to be a complete front tube when we are done with it.
Everything goes on the back half.
So you have two lines here. I mean, this line right here.
Yep.
The deeper line is for O-ring.
Suddenly I'm realising that a move to a square site was probably quite hard with a square O-ring and square lenses.
Yeah, it is different. It is different for sure.
All right, this just pops on.
Yeah.
We're okay to stretch it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bang. I basically made an endpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah. Right, so that was the easy part.
That was the easy part.
In the front and rear tube, these lenses are just protective, correct? There is no sort of optical advantage given there's no technology in these other than protection.
You're correct. So we're gonna do a test. You're gonna pick a lens here, and then you're gonna look through the area right here. It's just gonna be
that way.
Yeah. And I want you to tell me, like, okay, is this lens good enough?
I mean, it looks great, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You would put that in a sight.
Yeah, it seems like fairly legit.
What we do here, if you take a black background and you look under the light, then you can see maybe some.
Yeah, you can see 3 or 4 real clear specks.
Yeah.
Really very clear.
Yeah.
And so this will be cleaned off with an airline, some alcohol swabs, that kind of thing?
So low compressed air. If it doesn't remove the dust that you desire, you're free to use acetone. Scrub it off.
Okay.
Gently. And then turn it. And then inspect again.
And that just drops into here?
Yeah.
This is a little loose. I
Yeah.
presume that is to leave room for
The glue.
bonding agent. Yeah.
The design is that it should center itself. So when you do place it, it does center itself, but then you have the glue process that also makes it stick it where it is. So yeah, this is basically the same process on the rear tube and also the inner tube. We do have some more stuff on inner tube, but mostly the...
That's too top secret to share. Far too advanced for me to do, to be honest, it's the truth.
Maybe.
Over the other side of the room, the inner tube is constructed. The way this is done is top secret, but I can share the basics with you. A diode is placed to bounce its red dot onto a lens with a very specific curvature. This is then calibrated perfectly to ensure that the red dot will be parallax free before being fixed in place. Once this is done, it's time to start assembling the parts into the finished product.
Suck the electricity out of me.
No, but just put this on
Left hand, thank you.
on your wrist, plug this in.
Look at this. What if this like cures me of all of my issues? That would be really good.
Well, let's start with this bad boy right here.
Alright, so am I allowed to touch this with my fingers? No, probably not.
Yeah, you can. You can.
We're going to pick that up. This is complicated, isn't it? I can use fingers?
Yeah, just try not to maybe touch the adhesive area. I mean, it's going to be your site, so it's up to you.
Yeah, so this is it. The quality control on my site is going out the window here.
Yeah, slide it in, and yeah.
Oh, whoa. You made this part look real easy. There we go. The grease comes into the front housing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just take a little bit of grease and apply it to this area here.
How much am I supposed to be putting on there?
Enough.
Thanks. What happens if we put too much in?
Can be devastating, actually. So we're very detail focused in our instructions. Like this should be done by this way, and all the operators that are new has someone that teaches them in the beginning. It's a very strict process when you get educated.
Do people need to like renew and retrain if they haven't used the station for a while?
Yeah. All right. So I want you to take an inner tube then. I want you to put 4 of these, and then you can just push it with your finger.
All right, and then layer of grease again.
Yeah, so just apply a small layer of grease just to make it sure that they stick. Force it with the pencil. Yeah, exactly. That's fine. All right, so you're gonna take the inner tube and you're gonna place it inside the housing. Yeah, exactly like that.
A little twist.
Yeah, you're natural. Now, when I have seen your work, you have touched the lens sometimes.
Oh yeah, I really have touched that lens a lot.
It is okay because it's going to be your site then, but
that's why there's so many cleaning processes, just in case.
No, because
These guys don't do that.
they don't do that.
No.
The person, the person next to them would be very mad if they did that.
I just have to sit in the corner with a hat on.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to send that to a customer.
You can hose it down and wash it when you own it. It's waterproof, so that's good.
Yeah.
Something
Once
like that.
again, do not touch the lens.
I didn't. Oh, I did actually, didn't I? What a colossal.
It's okay.
All
So
right.
just
Bang.
place it there and make sure it's
Boom.
yeah. And
All right.
now the hard part.
What?
The point is here to expand the spring and at the same time take the tool out. We're gonna use some help.
Off.
And
Is that in?
You are truly a natural.
I mean, other than the fact that it's covered in fingerprints.
And now you can take it out. And the last thing you want to do is you want to
Pull the tape out.
yeah. So yeah,
It is sort of halfway there, right?
there's a few stations left, but
Makes me feel good. I've basically done all the work now.
yeah, you did good.
It's funny, sort of the development process that's got us to this point of actually having this site, looking at some of the old stuff is wild.
Yeah, from an engineering perspective, it's difficult to get it to meet all the requirements, withstand these G-forces, submerge into 35 meters and stuff like that. So that is the most difficult part.
Anything that can be used by the military gets my vote.
What I just learned is that this sight is basically a very clever reflex sight that's fitted into a bomb-proof housing. That's a very big simplification, of course, but really helped get my head around how it works. From here, it goes down the line, each operator adding the next piece of the puzzle, making sure no dirt or dust goes inside the unit along the way.
Because now
Oh, it's so bad.
and we have this equipment on us, and we have protector hair, and it's ventilated in here, and it's cleaned very often, but there's still these small particles that,
It's going to be impossible to avoid, right?
and then you just compare it to yours. It's a big difference.
At this point in the real world, the battery stuff would all be attached and glued on, but that takes 24 hours to dry, so we're going to skip that for today and go straight on to the next bit
Exactly.
for this particular one. This is really dirty.
Yeah.
I really did put my fingers all over it. Okay, so Q-tip.
Yeah, and some
Acetone?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
and
that
then
is
just
It's a little roll.
yeah, you want to take it off. Just
All right, and so
too
we're just going to start by trying to remove this. There you go, that's looking better already.
so this is just a rough cleaning process, and then we're gonna go into the more detail.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah,
All right, I'm feeling that's something.
I'm gonna help you out here.
Thank you,
I'm just gonna see if and it's on the inside.
Yeah, that's actually cleanish. All right, and now it's time to put on the front lens.
Yes.
Or front tube.
Yes. So before we put on the front tube, I want you to just make a quick inspection first.
Such a thin lens, it's hard to tell which side the specs are.
Yeah.
Without the experience these guys have. Okay.
Now we're just gonna put some grease, and try not to touch that.
I'm
that
trying,
you just,
I'm trying.
that you just cleaned.
I mean, this is as good as I think I'm going to get.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Front lens in, like that.
Yeah.
So it's getting
That
your
should be-
finger all over it
Yeah,
once
that
again.
should be good enough. And then just gently slide it in until
Perfect.
and then just push that to the side.
Moment of truth.
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, and so once that's in, we use this little gauge just to make sure that those springs
We just
have-
make sure that the springs have expanded accordingly. So
Yeah, we're happy with that.
yeah,
As you said, it goes through an awful lot of life, one of these.
yeah, it does. It's a lot of checkups and making sure that everything is done correctly.
Once the final pieces of the puzzle are done, like the final stages of the electronics, each unit gets tested for operation and functionality. Each of the designs they produce and develop is tested to different levels depending on whether it's for leisure use or professional applications. But from what I've seen, all of them are designed to be next to indestructible. The experience in this room gave me a whole new appreciation for the meticulous attention to detail that goes into top-end optics like these. All done, we disrobed from our ESD equipment and left the clean room. On the way to lunch at Aimpoint's rather smart on-site cafe, we took the opportunity to look around the place a little more. I know it's inconsequential to an end user, but this factory was beautifully designed and fitted out. In my head, if the bosses care about the place you're gonna work, it's gonna inspire the staff to care about the end product more. Whether this is true or not, I don't know, but cleanliness apparently is next to godliness. A few of the things here stood out as pretty cool. One was this display of Aimpoint sights. With everything from the first ever Aimpoint sight to the latest and greatest tech, and everything in between. And one of the coolest rooms we've ever been in, the Aimpoint Lounge.
That was a little more complicated than I had imagined.
Well, there is a lot of steps. The guys here are obviously well-trained, professional, skilled workers in there.
There's certain parts which we're not allowed to share. Certainly in the actual setting up of the diode and getting it parallax free, that is absolutely mind-blowing in terms of the precision that is expected from those guys.
Yeah.
As well as the quantity then they're expected to output.
We do have some secrets, so yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to, right?
Yeah, we do have to.
You couldn't be the dominant force.
No, exactly. Skills of the trade, we keep secret.
Every product in there is made to military spec. Is that correct? That's what I'm led to believe.
Regardless, if you are a special operator in Afghanistan, or you are a British hunter stalking deer or shooting game bird, you should be able to trust the product. So the quality is made out of the military specs, but that quality spills over to the commercial models as well. So
you can take it 35 meters underwater.
Well,
and freeze it
the
in
commercial
a bucket
products,
of water.
yeah, you could, but the products for the commercial side are not tested as much. That's the only difference.
Yeah,
they're made the same, it's got the same quality, but they're not tested as much. So we can't guarantee that a commercial site would submerge to 35 meters.
Yeah, you don't want to freeze it in a glacier for 20 years and then complain, right? But technically speaking, an acro is an acro is an acro, and the sealing systems and the locking systems are kind of the same between that and the more professional units.
That's right, that's right.
I said it was complex, but it's also amazing how simple the process has been made. I guess the industrialization of the handmade aspect was kind of interesting, because I can imagine right back in the day when there was just one person working and making sites, that would have just been a much more clustery system.
Yeah, and he did sales, he did marketing and all of that. So now we're a team of over 400 people.
Yes, that's a big difference in the last 50 years. That's some growth.
It is, it is.
All right, I'm not finished building this site, so I've got to get back to Luca.
Yeah.
I'll see you this afternoon for some fun.
We will.
Once the unit is complete, it's engraved with a unique serial number so that it can be tracked for the rest of time. This is done before it leaves the clean room and heads over the way to be boxed up.
So when it's all completed, it goes in there to be laser engraved.
Each individual in that batch gets a unique serial number.
But that can still be traced back to the batch, just in case there was a batch issue.
Yeah, exactly. And then when that process is complete, we walk in here, we have the final assembly.
So this is where any extra things that fall outside of structure get added on. Mounts, rubber grommets, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So you can have a site that has no mount, or you want a specific mount, you want a higher mount, low mount, all that gets done in here. Yeah, it's stuck to the table, so you don't have to worry about it.
I went straight in and touched the lens.
You did.
I'm such a dick.
When you're not used to handling this carefully, you're gonna automatically...
I can see why you put gloves on. You're a really clever man.
It doesn't matter. Even the gloves will leave a mark on the lenses.
Okay, so final assembly happens in this room. This is now a sealed unit, correct?
It is. We have the friction plate assembled already.
So that's for the S2 because it sort of helps it grip the rib.
Yes.
This is a like a buffer washer.
I would call it like a battery damper.
So first off, the battery buffer, just to stop the battery rattling around on recoil.
Yeah,
Then battery, positive up, negative down.
exactly.
A proper tool.
Now
Nice.
this, I'm just gonna demonstrate and
exciting.
then you can just,
And it's set to the right torque.
yeah. And that is nice and torqued. Flip the sight to the other side
All right.
and don't touch the lens.
I can't help it.
Did you really do
Yes. Oh, really? No. Just can't help it. I'm a moron. So flick it over.
Yeah,
Don't touch the lenses for the 15th time.
yeah, they look horrible.
Well, luckily we can clean them.
they look horrible. All right, so yeah,
Honestly, I kind of came into this thinking this would be, it can't be that hard to make one. Single A in, but we're not going to put the other side in. Why is that?
yeah, and that is mostly because we kind of want to force the customer to look at the manual, so they don't put a wrong ribbon on a wrong rifle.
So with the S2, it is very rib specific.
Yeah. If you buy the sight, read the manual so you get the correct experience. That's it.
Drop thumb.
Yep. That's it.
That was a remarkably simple
Simple
process.
and that. Yeah, we don't want to over torque that because you're gonna untorque it when you mount it on your rifle.
I mean, we need to take it back and clean it now, again.
Yeah.
But luckily I'm a pro at that, so I might give that another go.
So what we do, we place this one at the bottom, take the manual.
Most people don't like reading manuals.
Yeah, but I think this is very important because you do want to get the correct experience.
Yes,
So
for sure. And from what I've seen, if you do it wrong, the results are disastrous. So it's worth
Correct.
a bit of time setting it up. As
correct.
with anything, right? It's a bit like buying a rifle scope and not zeroing it and just being like, yeah.
So yeah, we place the manual, we place the instruction at the bottom, the Aimpoint tool.
Yes.
And then we also pack the different ribs that you can swap out. And then we place soft pad. And finally, the sight
sight.
that you have so valiantly fought for.
It was a valiant fight. Thank you for cleaning it every 5 seconds.
Yeah, no problem.
These are then shipped across the world to sporting goods stores and professional users alike. This is all handled right here next to the packing department. These guys also have a warranty department in the factory, although it might surprise you to learn that it's made up of a staff of 1, whose time is usually occupied working on units that are decades old. This in itself was the biggest surprise to me, to the simplicity and ruggedness of these units. After a long day of learning, we all needed to go and blow off some steam, Aimpoint style.
Welcome to Aimpoint's underground testing tunnel. It's a 100-meter concrete tunnel underground range, and it's pretty cool. Usually, my Aimpoints have been on hunting rifles or on shotguns. Today, I'm going to try them on something a little bit cooler. We've got a pretty good selection on the table in front of us. We've got a Krieghoff double rifle in 9.3 by 74R. Pretty tasty. A Seiko 85 in 270, both of these with acros. In fact, everything on the table is fitted with an acro. A Colt M5 in 5.56, a CZ Shadow, and a Glock. Very much looking forward to this half. This is quite familiar, but this is going to hurt. Let's have some fun.
As I said, my use of Aimpoint started on rifles.
9.3 by 74R. Not the worst caliber for recoil, but not lovely either.
With rifles and shotguns, I've learnt to be pretty proficient with more conventional sighting methods. So it's harder for me to see the advantage.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, the roe deer at 5 yards didn't like that very much. Let's move on to the black guns. We're not allowed these in England. It's a crying shame. But you are allowed them in Sweden, so that's cool. I tell you what, there is nothing quite so fun as a semi-automatic rifle. It's just better than working a bolt. Now, pistols. What's kind of interesting between these Acros is it's all the same product internally, but all the mounting systems are different. And I think we'll learn a bit more about that in a minute. But for now, let's make some more noise. It's getting hot in here.
Usually, my pistol groups look more like my shotgun patterns. But with a little lesson from Alexander, this red dot made the whole task much easier.
Red dots on pistols are now just the thing, right? Most people will operate in one of those rather than open sights.
Yeah, it has been a very quick change. So from, as we talked about earlier, from the bolt actions, double rifles, carbines, it has really changed quickly to adding a red dot to your pistol is a normal thing.
Just because it's easier to shoot?
Yeah, really it is. The learning curve is so much shorter, and what really boils down to make sense is you can keep your focus at the target compared to looking at the irons. It really makes sense.
You know, 1 millimeter at the irons is a big deal.
Yeah,
Parallax for your red dot is
correct.
pointing where you're looking, so it should make sense.
Absolutely.
What's the trick? Like, what's the trick to shooting it fast? Because my last 5 rounds weren't as good as the other rounds.
So first of all, you want to find the red dot. That will, of course, depending on how much pistol you shot, but you have to find it. Then when you find, you need to have good grip. So when you shoot it, you don't want the dot to go sideways.
You're looking to manage the recoil really linear.
Exactly. You want to have it, when you shoot it, you want to bounce and go back. Once it's back or getting back to where you want to shoot,
Squeeze
you
off.
can start. Exactly. So depending on how good you are with your trigger control, you can squeeze earlier or later. But you want the dot to go straight up and down, up and down. You can go bum, bum, bum on the target. So.
No, after you. Come on. You're the pro. I need to see this first. I learn by watching. Come on, I'm a visual learner. Very nice, good cadence, just watching your control.
And you can see the grouping is quite
It's
tight.
very, very good, yeah.
You're
Right.
shot.
So, I should be a pro now, yeah? That's the way this works.
Yeah.
Right, found the red dot. It felt way better, right? Just sort of letting the recoil do its
Find
thing
it.
and then fall back into place and bang.
Absolutely.
Whereas before, I think I was fighting to keep the red dot on target the whole time. Let it go, let it come back.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
I mean, you can really tell the difference. And this, obviously, it's short distance. But if you push it out 20, 25, 30 meters, you will really see the difference. And you
Just way more instinctively, I think, because the red dot's there, bang. Not line it up,
Exactly.
Yeah, we all know with a rifle, any optic is a benefit.
Exactly.
So the case should be true for other guns, right?
And it's interesting as well because we've seen a change. I have been in the industry for quite some years, but I've never seen something change that quick. So if you look 10 years ago, a pistol with an optic would be fairly rare. If you go look in the US now, it's the only thing they talk about. And all the manufacturers changed their slides so you can add an optic, whether it's a plate or direct cut, or now you can even have an old Glock, for example. You can have it to a gunsmith and have it milled for an Acro
You could
interface.
retrofit an Acro onto
Exactly.
pretty much
So it's a
anything.
really big thing, and you can see in all the forums there's lots of questions and people are really.
But they're hard to shoot, so anything that makes them easier to shoot is a win.
Absolutely. Why not?
It was time to put this thing to the test at one of Sweden's premier shooting grounds, located just an hour from the factory. Susegården. We grabbed a coffee, had a quick rummage around the gun room, before it was time to set up the gear.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth, for sure. So you did pretty good in the factory. So I have something to give you.
This is the one that I built yesterday.
You are the producer of it.
I mean,
So, here we go.
You couldn't sell it to anyone else. I know we're going to strap it on this gun and go and have some fun.
Yeah.
Choose the point, height measurement, width measurement, choose the correct things, go for gold. 9mm wide, 2mm deep, which leaves us B1. Correct?
B1.
Yes. That way. Like that.
With the sight attached, we needed to get it dialed in to guarantee the best result.
Hey, it's close enough.
Very good, very good.
I feel pretty confident.
Yeah, good enough.
I mean, I reckon I'll hit a clay with it.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, let's be honest. So we're going to hit something.
Yeah.
If I miss, then 100% it's...
Your fault.
No, it's a sight issue. 'Cause it didn't zero it right. I mean, luckily no dirt can get on the inside now, so
No.
we're winning. I'm a useless man. We're just going to shoot those white clays on the bank to double check we're somewhere handy. Hopefully I've done my job right.
And once we were certain it was on point, it was time to hit some sporting stands.
Not the first time I've had one of these in a shotgun, and I tell you what, every time it only gets easier.
Yeah,
There's
it does help, it does help.
A steep learning curve in sort of trusting the dot, right? And trusting your eyes.
Exactly, the technique is that you don't focus too much on the dot.
And that's the same for every weapon system that a red dot goes on, right? Is the
Yeah.
dot is there in your vision,
Yeah.
that's where the gun's pointing.
That's a reference.
Don't worry.
Point. Exactly, yeah. That's the way to use it.
Takes a little relearning after consciously seeing iron sights or a rear
Yeah.
or a crosshair.
Yeah, but it definitely does work.
For sure, we've had some great results.
Yeah,
but
you
we're here
did.
today in Sweden,
Yeah,
home of Aimpoint,
exactly. Here at Susegården range.
where we're going to hit some clays and
We will.
have some fun. After you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Show me some talents.
Yeah.
If you've been watching a while, you'll know that I'm a one-eyed shooter who's learnt to be quite barrel aware.
Best in the business.
Yeah.
So the first time I used one of these, I struggled to let go, open my eyes and trust the red dot. Now I've used one a bit, both on and off camera, it's amazing how intuitive it is to shoot with one of these.
So you're having fun, my friend?
It's been a real learning curve this whole sort of day. It was
Yeah.
a huge information overload yesterday, sort of learning how this technology works, learning how it's put together, learning the applications more than anything, right? Because on the face of it, it's quite obvious, but sort of learning the science and the actual deeper meaning of red dots and
Exactly.
why they exist, how they work, and the benefits they give has been absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm a learning addict, so it's kind of cool to see. But we've got one more stand here before we
Yeah.
move on.
You did pretty good over there, so I expect you to do as good as here.
Look, they were simpler. These are less simple.
All right.
My level is simpler.
It's not.
Less simple is out of my sort of realm of expertise.
Yeah. Now you got an aim point on it, so.
Right, Johnny, here we go. Have a look. Cool.
Well shot.
Thank you.
Any tips?
Just hit him.
Don't miss. Confidence.
Yes.
I think you just have to stop looking for the red dot, and that's kind of the strange thing, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, yeah, get your head on, look through the sight, just put the gun there, the red dot's there, forget about it, and just
Yeah. That's the way.
do the move.
Exactly.
It's like another step up in terms of, I wouldn't say like instinctive shooting, but you have to let go a little more
Yeah.
in terms of visual gunnage,
Exactly. Yeah.
which takes a little while as someone who likes visual gunnage.
Yeah. You'll get there.
One day, first Aimpoint World Champion.
We worked through a few stands, shooting sensibly, having great fun along the way. Before finally reverting back to form and playing some good old-fashioned clay games.
I think this is where the Aimpoint really comes into its own, you know?
Yeah.
The more I shoot with one of these, the more I keep thinking of having it permanently on one of my guns.
All right, well, you've just shown me the way,
Yeah. Now just replicate it.
but we'll just shoot some singles first. One, two, three, single. Come on, give me a chance.
Very nice shot.
Well. Oh, it does feel dangerous, but you can say that all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You can do it.
We can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it.
There you go.
That was actually a really tough bet.
Yeah, it is. It
The
was.
power you had to put into that first target, just get it dead. The second target wasn't the issue. Hitting the first target as quickly
It
as
helps
easy.
if you're a bit angry.
Yeah, I was a bit angry. But a huge thank you from me. And
thank you very much as well.
for giving us the opportunity to come here, for letting us go around the factory, for sort of giving us the opportunity to test the Aimpoint site out, because I would have been hugely skeptical and probably never would have been bothered. But your persistence to actually prove to me that this is technically a benefit, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. And I know a lot of people would be super skeptical, but I can just see a purpose for it. And I probably never would have given it a chance if it wasn't for you and your passion for the project.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Nowadays, I rarely turn down the opportunity to learn new things. And this trip to Sweden had both in spades. I spent years just taking products out the box and enjoying the end result of a company's hard work, without a single care of what went into it, never so much as reading the manual. It transpires that taking the time to learn where something comes from and what goes into it is a worthwhile pursuit. Learning how difficult it is to put one of these together will stick with me for life. Anytime I attach an optic to a gun from here on in, I'll remember my oily fingerprints on every lens I touched. And I'll remember that the journey to the relatively simple looking thing in your hands wasn't a simple one. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
After we left, Aimpoint called up and offered a gesture of kindness to anybody buying an S2 because they watched this film. You get a free hat and a free buff. All you need to do is go to the link in the description.
Thank you for watching, guys. This channel is made possible by our amazing sponsors. You can find out more about them in the description down below. And if you want to support the channel, you can join as a member. You get loads of extra content, well, some extra content, and occasionally we hook up and go clay shooting together as a membership group. If you don't feel like joining today, we really appreciate you watching and subscribing. Have a wonderful day.